Kain is been a legend in the space for a long time. He's one of the people, quite frankly, when I first got into crypto, was a big fan of Kain's. I would read his writing and think about what he was doing with Synthetix. And now he's back with a new project with a very straightforward but complicated mission, which is to make DeFi accessible to the masses. I'm thrilled to bring him up on stage to kind of kick us off here. For anyone who's not familiar with Infinex, can you talk to the people about the latest experiment that you guys are running over on this side?
Yeah, so I think it was like maybe September last year. I got to the point where I was like, all right, I need to understand what is happening in Solana. And so I started trading meme coins. It felt to me a little bit like, the early DeFi days, right? There was just crazy stuff going on constantly. You couldn't keep up with it. And I was like, all right, I'm going to make a meme coin. So I made a meme coin. I deployed a meme coin on Solana. I deployed a meme coin on Optimism. I created these like weird games where you had to like burn them and stuff. And it just kind of got me to a point where I was like, all right, I think I get this, like at least enough to have a conversation. And alongside that, I was in the process of building Infinex, which is basically designed to be this gateway to everything on chain. Everyone here who's on this call, right, is on-chain. But there's a whole bunch of people, they're not on-chain, they're not, for whatever reason, they're waiting for the meme coin to be listed by CZ before they actually play the game. And there's a whole bunch of reasons for that, right? But the main reason, I think, is the UX. We still haven't quite nailed the UX. And so what we're trying to build is something that will make it easy for someone who's on Binance right now, who doesn't feel comfortable going on-chain. The way that we're doing that is to kind of replicate the Web 2 UX. Instead of needing a seed phrase or private keys, we use passkeys and we use turnkey, and we basically make it easy for you to have the ability to sign a transaction from in a secure enclave on your iPhone or Android phone or whatever. We think that by the time we finish integrating all the stuff that we're going to integrate, we're going to have a platform where people can migrate off Binance finally. It's been a decade of crypto people living in someone's database, right? We need to bring everyone on chain. And so having built a protocol and seen it from the protocol level up, I was like, let's start this one and go from the UX layer down. And so that's what we're doing.
What kind of users are you seeing come on here? Not just in terms of traction, but like, are you noticing a different archetype? Like, is it still degens that are using this, or is this a little bit closer towards mainstream center?
We're not there yet, right? Like, we're absolutely still degen focused. They're the ones that go out and advocate, right? They're on Twitter being like, this is a cool new platform, right? When Jupiter was first launching, right? You had your advocates on crypto Twitter that were like, you have to try this. This is amazing, right? So those are the people we have to convince first. If we can get those people on board, then their friends who are in the Telegram chat with them that, have been too scared to download Soulflare or whatever, they can be like, this is finally for you, Jimmy, the guy who's stuck on Binance for the last 3 years, right? So that's the goal. One of the principles that we started with was that we needed to be cross-chain, and we needed to launch with Solana live on day one. As an Ethereum person coming in order to have credibility, it was critical that we had Solana on day one. We actually delayed the launch several times because we weren't quite ready, so that we could launch native Solana support from day one, which we've done. Before we wrap up, we just went into audit yesterday for Jupiter swaps. So that integration is being audited right now. So we're pretty excited about that. It's going to be one of the first integrations that we launch with.
And then speaking of competitions, I know, Kain, you guys have the Craterun live. So for people that are looking to get more, to explore Infinex and kind of think about what's going on, can you give a brief overview of Craterun and how people can get involved?
So Craterun is yield farming plus randomness, right? We've created this like random crate opening meta where you deposit TVL, you farm crates, and crates have different prizes in there. So we're doing a token sale sometime soon. And basically this crate farming game that we're playing, it shows off the platform, right? It shows how easy and cool the platform is. But the second part is it basically gates this sale. And so if you want access, you need to start farming, basically. The thing, you guys were talking about attention, right? It's an attention game. I remember, in the early DeFi days, we felt like it was hard to get attention from people. Today, it's a different attention problem. There are so many things going on that getting cut through is actually the hard thing, right? So getting attention is the thing that, I think is important. And so doing things like meme coin wars, where it's like a silly game, right? Where people are depositing TVL, helps to kind of bootstrap that attention.
Fantastic. Folks, go check out Infinex. Kain, thanks so much for coming on. Pleasure to meet you, my friend.